Shalom everyone, it's Rabbi Leynor. This is the second part of our lesson on anger that Jesus taught, and the clues that it contains that reveals that Jesus was teaching in Hebrew and not Greek. In the first video I discussed the example of the Jewish court system Jesus used to make his point. Now I want to make a point about the method Jesus was using to teach. Jesus did not literally mean that every person that becomes angry should be tried in a court of law. He also didn't mean that people should not become angry. He knows that people are people and they become angry all the time for different reasons. His lesson is about what people say when they get angry. The first warning Jesus reveals is not to say to a brother, RAQA, out of anger. He said that this was an offense that should be tried by the Sanhedrin, which was the equivalent of our Supreme Court. The word RAQA is another clue that Jesus taught in Hebrew. All right, so I've heard preachers say that word before, but I'm sure none of them know what it meant. What does RAQA mean in English? R-A-Q-A? The answer? Nothing. We know the English translations come from the Greek manuscript, so what does RAQA mean in Greek? Nothing. So it means nothing in Greek either, because the Greek translators just transliterated the Hebrew word resh kuf aleph. Rek. Resh kuf means empty, rek. RAQA, instead of translating it. Therefore, to understand what RAQA meant to Jesus, we must go to the Jewish sources to define this Hebrew word. I'm going to use a story from the Talmud, which is the rabbinic scripture, that'll help us understand it. Talmud says, our rabbis taught, a man should always be gentle as the reed and never unyielding as the cedar. Once Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rav Simon, was coming from Migdal Gedor, from the house of his teacher, and he was riding leisurely on his donkey by the riverside and was feeling happy and elated because he had studied much Torah. There chanced to meet him an exceedingly ugly man who greeted him. "Peace be upon you, sir." He, however, did not return his salutation, but instead said to him, "RAQA," which meant, "You useless and empty thing, how ugly you are. Are all your fellow citizens as ugly as you are?" The man replied, "I do not know, but go and tell the craftsman who made me. How ugly is the vessel which you have made." When Rabbi Elazar realized that he had done wrong, he dismounted from the donkey and prostrated himself before the man and said to him, "I submit myself to you, forgive me." The man replied, "I will not forgive you until you go to the craftsman who made me and say to him, 'How ugly is the vessel you have made.'" Rav Elazar walked behind him until he reached his native city. When his fellow citizens came out to meet him, greeting him with the words, "Peace be upon you, O teacher, O master," the man asked them, "Whom are you addressing thus?" They replied, "The man who is walking behind you." Thereupon he exclaimed, "If this man is a teacher, may there not be any more like him in Israel." And the people asked him why. And he replied, "Such and such a thing he has done to me." They said to him, "Nevertheless, forgive him, for he is a man greatly learned in the Torah." The man replied, "For your sakes I will forgive him, but only on the condition that he does not act in the same manner in the future." The Hebrew word RAQA means useless, empty, and of no value. Let's take another look at the point Jesus made. Whoever says out of anger, and this is when you lose control, when you go viral, when you go postal to a brother, "You are useless, empty, and of no value," shall be tried by the Sanhedrin. The Jewish audience of Jesus knew that one of the core values of Judaism is that we are all made b'tselem Elohim. It says, in the image of Elohim, of God, which includes the person we may be angry with. Do we really believe that one made in the image of God is useless, empty, and of no value? The lesson that Jesus is teaching here is that anger, and you can put in there hatred, bigotry, those things can lead to murder. And one of the first steps in allowing it to do so is to say things that devalue the lives of others, of the one we are angry with. Friends, Jesus had a rabbinic mind. This is an example of what is called a fence around the Torah. One thing leads to another. I'll continue Jesus' lesson in the next video. So please share this with others so they'll be able to see the words of Jesus through his Jewish eyes. If you like what you just heard and understand how important it is, especially in this time period, make a contribution to help us fund our work so we'll be able to do more for you, reach more people with the facts. Thank you. Shalom.